I pray. I pray, but I'm still struggling. Does God hear me? I tithe religiously, but I'm still struggling. Does God hear me? And then I read this book and realized maybe I wasn't listening.
Contrary winds. For those who want to give up but need to know greater is coming. Buy now on HeDidNotForgetMe.com.
Want a live interview with Viral Hip Hop News? Email me, Sam Ant, at dlsmediainc1@gmail.com. Let's go.
Welcome to another episode of the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. I'm your brother, O-God, from Hip Hop News Uncensored, and sitting across from me is my co-host.
What up, y'all? It's your man, Sam Ant, CEO of Viral Hip Hop News, and you're in the building for a very special edition of the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast on this Friday evening. We got a special guest in the building. We got Moe The Monster Johnson on the podcast. What's good with you, family?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm chilling. Life is good, man. You know.
It's only one brother. I'm calling Moe The Monster Johnson, and that's the porn star, Moe The Monster Johnson. Now, for those of you who don't know, man, let the people know who you are and what you specialize in.
I'm not to steal nobody line, but I'm like Tyrone, you know, with your wife, long dick style.
Dope. So we're all interested, man. Let's just start right at it, man. How did you get into the game of pornography? I was in LA for a little while and I was struggling, and I never got into the game, but I was inquiring, and anything that I ever came across, they were trying to make me as a man do some wild shit that I wasn't ready for. So I was always interested as a man, like how y'all got into the game, man. So can you give us a little layout on how you got into the game?
You know, I think everybody's story is a little different. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's a lot of ways that people have stumbled or walked into this adult lifestyle. Mine's kind of was always a passion. You know what I mean? I started dealing with music. I was in the music industry at a very young age. And, you know, I think that was like the segment that kind of led me into the adult world. I think just with the similarities of, you know, just random sexual encounters, one night stands, you know, a lot of traveling and stuff like that. And I think I finally decided to make the decision to, like, you know, I would say if people take the leap of faith, probably was around 2008, and I was dealing with a girl that was actually in the music industry, and we kind of had a fallout. And you know, I tell people this now. It basically was a pride thing. You know, she tried to tell me I had a little Johnson. You know what I mean? And I basically had to prove, you know, to her, myself, and the rest of the world that she was full of shit. Um, you know what I mean? But you know, she was part of it at the time that kind of gave me the striving force to push. But I basically just started, man. You know, I had a house full of women that was staying with me, and you know, we ran out of things to do. You know, we was doing bachelor parties and things of that nature, undergrounds and things of that nature. And you know, a lot of the girls, you know, they ain't loyal or they ain't consistent. And it was basically my choice to just say, you know what, y'all don't want to do this, or y'all not doing this the right way. I'm gonna show you how it's done. You know what I mean? And I started filming. My first scene was actually on the subway train in New York City, and at the time it got posted up on YouTube, and it was able to stay up there for a couple of months, and I got about a 500,000 views. You know, and at that time, you know, YouTube wasn't obviously what it is today,
Right.
and you know, that led segue to a lot of people knowing about me, but not really putting the face to the name. And there was this thing called Sexy Job, which was kind of like you know, like the monsterjob.com for the sex world. And you know, this girl I was dealing with in the music industry at the time, she took the first nude picture of me, because, you know, I couldn't obviously, you know, be fully erect for another man to take the picture. So you know, once I had that picture, I posted it on that Sexy Jobs, and you know, the phone started ringing.
Wow. Now take us back to the subway. How did y'all pull that off? Did you had to rent it? Or y'all just kind of just had an empty section, just got it in right there real quick and just did it?
Shit, We started on Atlantic Avenue out in Brooklyn at the first stop, but
Right.
it happened to be, it was like, 4 or 5 in the morning. So
Okay.
nobody was on the train when we started, but as we started, going towards Manhattan,
Yeah.
the, the people was on there and there wasn't no rental, cops would have came on, undercovers would have came on, and
Right.
we would have went to jail.
Man.
Do you think that's why it popped the way it did? Maybe because it was the element of, oh shit, these motherfuckers on the train doing this shit.
Yeah, I definitely think it was the shock factor, and I think a lot of people wasn't expecting from the way it started that it was gonna, get to that level. So those who continue to watch it probably was like, oh, word got around fast, by that year, Thanksgiving, a couple of my cousins had seen it, and I'm sitting at the table with a bunch of my aunts and my pops, and
Hey.
yeah, my cousin whipped the video out like, yeah, A Train, A Train. I'm like, huh? You know what I mean? So, that was like a 2-for-1. That was my first scene, and that was the scene that, half my damn family saw. You
Damn.
know. So it was kind of one of those things where it was like, well, if you want to take this serious, I see you got a lot of views, you better take it serious because it's definitely out there. That was my first scene. That was my welcome to the porn world.
Right. Now take us kind of like into the business for people who don't know. How you go about, I guess, finding a girl? Does somebody like, somebody who runs the thing, like pick a girl, match people up? Take us deep. You got to do like STD test and take us all into the world, man. And what, from A to B on, going through the porn star world with the different, with a woman.
Um, Basically, nowadays with OnlyFans and everything else, it's so much easier, and a lot of
Right.
people have been saying this for years, self included, and people hit me in the streets or hit me online or whatever, and they're like, yo, how do I get into porn? I'm like, get a girl. If that, if that's the genre you going after, you know what I'm saying? Just get a girl. And at this point, she don't even gotta be hot, just
Right.
as long as she's ready to do the deed and put the work in, you know what I mean? You good to go. With the testing though, if you decide you want to take it serious, if you want to actually, take it to that LA level,
Mhm.
you would have to get tested. There's two standard testing places that most performers go to that's verified. Your picture, or your agent, whatever.
Okay.
All your information is documented and verified. It goes into like they call a pass system. So basically, all over the world, any porn company can go into this system and pull not only your information up, but your history. So if been dirty or been burnt or whatever, you'll have that whole 2 year, 3 year, however long you've been in the system history
Wow.
of your medical records. Um, that's the way that most of the professional companies will take you serious because the test is very pricey, and if you show that type of dedication that you're willing to spend, $300, which is the current price with the COVID test included, you know, um, that kind of shows that you're serious about this, and you didn't just go to the doctor and get a doctor's test.
Now, all of us throughout our lifetime, every man thought he was a porn star at some point or another, right? But the
Hmm.
big leagues and the real game behind it and the work that goes into it, I'm sure a lot of motherfuckers ain't ready for it. Talk about that. Like a lot of people thinking they ready for the business, but they ain't really ready for, like you said, the LA, the big league type deal.
Yeah, hell no. Like when I first got to LA, this had been about 2013. Now I had already been in the game since 2009. At this
Mhm.
time, I already had shot about 400 scenes in New York. I had dubbed myself the porn king of New York, and because nobody else was doing it, like outside of the outrageous scenes, I had a direct line to about 15 companies in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut area. And, like I said before, my house originally had about 5 holes. By my first year, it had switched into having like 5 porn stars around. Like,
Oh
some of
wow.
them that was already known, some of them was from Atlanta, some of them was from Midwest. Some of them was from LA. And, me and a couple of my buddies started this thing called the Union, which was like brothers in pornography. So all of us kind of had our own little buzz and our own little females around us. And we all kind of like linked up together, and we would come at companies with like a package deal. Like, you know what, hire me and my boy, and we got 5 girls or we got 6 girls that's available, and we was able to dominate the market. So moving forward, just to give y'all backstory, moving
Mhm.
forward, going into LA, I'm thinking I'm already the man. Like, I already got this
Right.
shit locked up, you know what I'm saying? And when I got there, AVN, which some of y'all who don't know what AVN is like the Grammys of porn.
Right.
And we got there and nobody knew who I was. Nobody in LA really, knew
Damn.
who I was or took me
Damn.
serious. And the few that did was, putting me on the level of being a high end amateur porn star, but not really a professional. So, the only way I was able to really get into the mix was I had to do a gangbang scene. Now, a gangbang scene, which I didn't know at the time, was like your introduction or your audition to the adult world. Because if you in the mix with a big name porn star, because most big name girls is gonna do the gangbangs as opposed to the amateurs, because obviously it's a lot of work involved when they're dealing with multiple partners at one time. You know,
Right.
so you get thrown with a girl that's already known, and then now it's like I'm working with guys that I might have seen already on movies. So you get that whole shell shock of that element, and then now you're not in the comfort of being with your girl and nothing like that. So now you got the pressure of dealing with a girl you don't know or is a big name star. Plus you got 5 or 4 other guys around you, and you got to keep your man 1,000.
Mhm.
So
Right.
you actually stand out. And the confidence that I had and the energy that I had going into it, that's what kind of made me stand out in those type of scenes, because it really didn't matter how many guys was there. It was a matter of me performing with the girl and giving the best performance that I could give. And eventually that had became a part of my signature of being like the king of gangbangs.
Right. Now, how like talk about like the websites they got, Pornhub, X Hamster, all those sites they got. How's that helped the business lately? Like with the emergence of like the internet, websites people can go on pretty much for free.
I mean, the tube sites, it's been a gift and a curse.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I know when Pornhub had first came out, a lot of the videos was posted up there, not by the actual production companies, but actually
Mhm.
put up there by fans. This is my favorite scene. I pay for it. I download it. I'm
Right.
gonna throw it up there. And it had become so big that they started monetizing it with ads and things of that nature,
Mhm.
to the point where some of the girls and some of the bigger companies got wise, and it's like, well, hold on, this video is getting 1 million views. Why we not making money? So a lot of people started making their own accounts, and it just blew up from there. I think the same thing with like X videos as well.
Mhm.
Not until probably in the last, I would say, 5 to 7 years, you couldn't even make money off of posting on XVO. XVO was completely free. But same thing, once the advertisers and everything got involved, now there's all kind of money and sponsorships and things that was able to help enrich um, the money for the performers. To now where you have OnlyFans and some of these other sites where it's like, yeah, we got a free site, but then we got a pay site.
Mhm.
Back in the day, 15, 20 years ago, for you to even have an online site, you had to go through directly with CC billing, which then required credit checks and identification, because now you're dealing with people's personal credit card information directly.
Right.
And a lot of people didn't like that, because also you take the risk of putting your information, somebody could scam you.
Right.
So a lot of, or some people just didn't want to have that type of 900 or a porn star or porn site, whatever, on their credit card bill directly,
Right.
for whatever reasons, So I think those two sites, they help as far as with marketing,
Hmm.
and they also kind of help for those who didn't have the ability to actually start a full website on their own.
Now, let me ask you. You went to LA, going to the big leagues. How was you perceived as a brother in the industry? Because we all know about Hollywood and music and things like that. Was it any different in porn?
It was the opposite from what most people experience might be in entertainment. I think with interracial, you know, not being um as glorified as it might be today.
Right.
At that time, it was kind of like we was all being depicted as thugs and gangsters, and a lot of the performers, was that like they came out of jail. You know what? I'm gonna do some porn. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So a lot of the people I ran into was actually, gangsters or ex cons and shit like that, and they took it for what it was. Whether they was BBC like they always say, or they was just average Joe size. It was just having a whole bravado and having the energy to be able to do a scene, 30 to 45 minutes straight of intense fucking, and obviously not pop early, or you know not being able to keep your shit up.
Right.
So like that was the kind of thing where it's like if you could do two scenes or three scenes back to back to back without messing up, shit, they'll roll out the red carpet for you.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people were shocked to that, because it's like one minute, I want to do it. I do three good scenes, and now I'm in the mix. Now my phone is buzzing. Now I got Bang Bros and this company and that company, knocking down your door to get you, because the whole thing is they want to lock you in. If you could do the job, a lot of male performers, black or white, um, don't realize how much the industry needs them, opposed to they need the industry. You know what I'm saying? Because you looking at it as this is what you want to do, but in reality, you know, the lifetime of a male performer, definitely in years, even though money wise the females get it all day, but as far as years and time, you got guys that been around for 15, some even 20 years plus, and continuously have a job, because obviously women get older, especially in front of that camera.
Mhm.
It shows a lot faster because they are primarily the subject of the attention.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I mean?
Now talk about the actual like performance. Did it take you a while to kind of adjust to like, people actually with cameras watching you fuck this bitch? Did it take you a while to get used to that? Because normal setting people's in a room with a girl by themselves, they doing anything or whatever. So how did you adjust to that? The cameras being watching.
um For me, I think I always kind of was a performer in my own right. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
think, a lot of my boys used to make jokes and be like, yeah, they was following you before Twitter. You know what I mean? It's just, you got to have that confidence. You got to have that bravado where it's like,
Mhm.
you know what? I'm going to stand here and I'm going to live most people's, nightmare. When you think about it, if you ever watched like the original Wonder Years, you
Mhm.
know, that was always his biggest nightmare, is to be standing, naked in a room full of people. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you have to kind of have that in you. You know what I mean? You can't create that, you can't fake that, you know what I'm saying? And that's why a lot of guys fail, because once that camera comes on, no matter how much big shit you talking or how many girls is screaming your name, when it's just you and them, when that camera come on,
Mhm.
it's a whole nother light, and you got to be able to separate yourself. Like at that point, this ain't really about sexual. This is about finances. This is a business here. You got the sound man, he need a check. The
Right.
director need his check. You know what I'm saying? The people house you rented or studio you at, they want their check. The director got to get their check. And the girl, most of all, want her check. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it becomes where If you can't, perform within the first 15 minutes, you can get pulled off the set, and that'll be the end of your career. And if you don't complete the scene, you don't get paid.
Mm.
So you could be humiliated or humiliate yourself,
Yeah.
and don't even get paid. And sometimes the scene won't even see the light of day. But depending on how much the people, in the production like or don't like you, they might put the shit out anyway, just because they spent money on it.
Yeah.
And you still won't get paid for that.
And you still won't get paid. I mean,
Ooh.
you look like a straight idiot. You know what I mean? So, for me in the beginning, the pride of that alone was
Right.
like, "Yeah, I ain't gonna have me on camera looking stupid."
Right.
Let me ask you this: how's that affected your personal love life when it comes to that? Is it work now, like even having sex with women, or can you still separate the two?
It took me. I ain't gonna lie. It took me a very long time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, especially being out in LA, and I had got a little star status, and a couple of females knew who I am, right off the gate. Or I might have dealt with a girl and her friends might have knew who I was, or she might have just happened to Google me, and everything will pop up. It changes things. You know what I mean? Like, I would say, like 50 Cent said, if a female see my Johnson before she meet me, it's like I done got a
Mhm.
facelift. You know what I'm saying? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's like, I done had situations where girls done met my Johnson before they done met me, where it's like they just walk straight down, jump to their knees and be like, damn, let me just see it. Let me just put it in my mouth. I'm like, damn, baby, like, I don't even know your name. You know
Right.
what I mean? And it gives you that, where if and a lot of guys, and I can't say that 100% that's how they feel, but I could tell from a lot of guys' actions, it gives them that kind of, I would say, superiority complex, to where they start thinking women are just, meat, or women are just around for sexual pleasure. You lose sight of reality, where it's like, every girl you see or every girl around you, you done seen her naked, or done seen yours or someone else dick in her mouth. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It changes your perception.
Yeah.
So, going back to your original question, it's like, it took me a long time when it comes to dating. Like, I tried to date porn chicks, that didn't work.
Right.
I tried to date a lot of civilians, but the jealousy and things like
Yeah.
that. So then, that didn't work. Or even if not jealous, they, if they understand it and respect the lifestyle, they don't really take me serious, because it's like, I'm looked upon by them like a male thought. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold on, you done fucked all these bros. What make me special? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You done had the best girls, all wild, kind of crazy orgies and shit. How do I know that this is real? So, after, I would say, after about, because I've been in the game for 14 years. So the first 4 years, I actually, got booed up with a shorty that was a ride or die type, and she was also in the business. And, between me leaving her back in New York and going to LA, and then going to Europe and Japan, and, shooting all over the world, I ended up coming back to her, just probably, I would say, in the last maybe 6 months. Me and her ended up actually, like, being back in communication, and now, we back together again. But it's like, as far as with a relationship, it's very difficult in this world, in this porn world, you know what I'm saying? For male or female, you know what I mean?
Right. Now, has there ever been a time where, director, anybody brought a scene to you or something that you didn't want to do, that you turned down and said, nah, I'm not doing no shit like that?
Oh yeah. I mean, there's
Yeah.
plenty of scenes that I turned down. Um, most of them probably was, more the gayish type scenes, or what they got a thing called, like, cuckold, where, it's
Yeah.
usually would be like a white man, and you're like banging his daughter or his wife, you know what I'm saying? And I've heard some of them gone as far as, the guy making the other man actually suck him off or something like that, as some form of humiliation.
Right.
Um, the farthest I've probably gone with it is, they've made the guy like eat the nut or whatever. But I had told directors, like, listen, I don't even want to be in a room when that shit go down. I don't even want to see that shit. You know what I'm saying? And when I kind of seen that some directors was actually like trying to use that as a segue to get you into doing some bisexual activity, I was just like, I had to cut the faucet on those type of scenes. Like, you know what, I'm good on that because that's not the route that I'm trying to go. That's not the brand, that I'm trying to push. Um, there's also like DP scenes. They're very, very big out there in Europe and definitely out in LA, and the way I think they kind of market it to more the top tier stars is this is the elite. Now you're talking
Mm.
different with a gangbang. You know what I mean? Like if you're doing a gangbang and you got 5 dudes and your man's on this side and you on the other side and y'all playing the Chinese scissors, you know what I mean, or the Chinese finger trap, you know what I mean? That's cool. You know what I mean? But when you're doing a DP, you know what I'm saying, and you got another man fucking stomach hitting you in the chest while you smashing because he in the ass and you in the pussy, you know what I'm saying? It's a different level of comfortability and closeness, you know what I'm saying? That you have to mentally put a lot of shit on the side, and that's like I said, that's how they market it, where it's like, well, only the elite of the elite can do this because, even a guy that could knock down 20 girls by himself, you put him in a scene like that, he ain't gonna keep wood because
Mhm.
it's not the same experience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like I said, you got to know how to separate, like I said, the personal from the business because homie don't want to fuck you. He there
Right.
for a check like you there for a check, but your own insecurities or your own uncomfortabilities will knock you out that position. You know what I mean? So like I got a lot of offers for those scenes in America and in Europe. And after a certain point in time, it's like you're doing those type of scenes every day. It's just like, yeah, okay, now I'm good on this too. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Talk about one, if you can, one of like the best experiences you ever had. Like if it's a porn star, we know about, like, yeah, that shit was the truth, my guy. If I could take you into that world, that was the truth.
um, I think the fun part was like I would say two different types of scenes. I think my funnest scene I ever had, I think I had like 6 girls on one. You
Damn.
know what I mean? So it's like, at that point, you got girls sucking on your toes. You know what I'm saying? You got girls on your neck, on your ear. You know what I
Right.
mean? Two on your balls. You just like, fucking take me. You know what I mean? Like, it's a
Damn.
whole nother, it's a whole nother experience. Um, I think that was, that experience. And I think I've done about 2 scenes like that. One of them, it wasn't all like against me. It was like a couple of them that they like. It was like an orgy, but it was like 5 girls, 4 guys. But there was moments that you might get 2 to 3, sometimes 4 of them at one time on you. You know what I mean? As I was just going through rotation. So like that same, like I said, same type of feel. Anytime you got more than 3 girls on you, that's a whole nother
Oh yeah.
experience. You know what I
Sure.
mean?
I wouldn't fucking
And
know. Wouldn't fucking know, brother.
you got you gotta be cool as a fan, you know what I mean? It's nothing. It's nothing, baby. That's what we do. But yeah, that and then the second type of scenes was like the feature scenes, like the big production scenes. Like I've worked for Black.com a couple of times. They definitely treat you like a real actor. You go in there, they got wardrobe laid out. Got the whole drink table, as far as not alcoholic drinks, but like if you guys been on a regular sound stage or backstage at a concert, they got the food, they got the everything you can imagine, laid out there for you, pick you up with limousines and all that, drop you back off. So I like that type of production. I did one scene for this Japanese company. They actually flew me all the way out to Japan for 2 days,
Hey.
and then they flew me to Papua New Guinea, which is like a small indigenous country in between Japan and Australia.
Mm-hmm.
and they literally had me like in the jungle, shooting with some joint, yeah, on the top of the mountain. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
mean, literally, there was no cell phones, no third world. It was like straight
yeah.
third world country. You know what I'm saying? And like, at that point, like I had to actually like learn the culture because I was like with an actual chief, of that
Okay.
land. Like it was only three people that owned that whole island. It was him, his cousin, and then the government. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he was the most indigenous of all because they followed a lot of the traditions still. So like
Mm-hmm.
I had to do the movie and everything with like the full face painting, you know what I mean, headdress on, the everything. So when I would walk through the town or the village, a lot of the kids was like crying and shit because they thought like the real chief died. Like who the fuck is he? Like
Wow.
it's like driving through the hood with Obama's car when he was the president. People like what the hell going on out here?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like I done had those type of experiences with the game too. I think like that's the beauty. I look at overall of my 14 years in the game where it's like, I know a lot of people just kind of stuck with the urban market. They could be like, yo, I fuck Pinky and I fuck this one and fuck that one. I fuck Pinky too, but at the same time, I also was able to take that shit to another level, where a lot of other performers weren't able to even get there. You know what I mean?
So we gotta ask you about Pinky, man. I know everybody wants to know. How was that pussy, man? How was
Oh
that, for all
man.
the guys that want to know that? Is it worth it? Like,
Oh man, I mean, I caught her towards the end of the career. I mean,
okay.
not to toot my own horn, you know what I mean. But I think after I had did the Howard Stern show, Pinky was already kind of scouting me for
Mhm.
about 2 years, but she
Okay.
wasn't sure. And I think like once I did the Howard Stern show, and everybody was giving me a lot of credit for that shit, then she was like, you know what, I'm gonna run with you, and she put me in her male lead talent roster, and I was able to hold it down for about 5 years, working with her. And the first scene, I wasn't even supposed to do an actual sex scene with it. It was supposed to just be a blowjob scene. It was going to be three guys,
Mm.
and one of the guys didn't show. Thank you, Chris Strokes. He didn't actually show. So she was like, "Well, her doing two guys was something that she's done before. Was nothing major." And she just came up with this random idea. She was like, "So, since I never fucked you, Mo, how about I fuck you, and then I'll suck the other two guys off." And I was like, "Okay."
Oh, all right.
You know what I
All
mean?
right. I'm with it.
So, you know what I mean? And I did that scene with her, and then after that, we killed it. And I think I did about two more scenes with her, but it was like more of her kind of like setting me up with another girl, but she'll come in and like suck me off or whatever before, because
Mhm.
her big thing is about wearing the condoms. So she'll do like head without a condom, but she definitely wasn't doing no sex scenes without a condom at that point when I got with her. And I actually was like one of her last, if not the last scene that she was in before she kind of went all the way retired.
Right, right. Now
You
take us
know.
back to your lawsuit against, I think it was DF Productions. Take us back to that
hmm
situation where it was a few years ago, it was going crazy, headlines and all that. What happened in that scene, man, and what was the result of the lawsuit?
Well, let's just say it's legal documents where I can't, go into everything about that.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? But it was just a situation where Jack, like you asked earlier, it was something that I didn't want to do,
Right.
and they basically forced it on me to the point where it was like, what's the point of asking me if y'all already had this shit planned out anyway?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And I think like at that moment, I kind of realized that no matter how far I came in the game, you
Mhm.
know, they still felt you a nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And that's what I mean. That's the nut and bolt of it. You know what I'm saying? Like everything else that happened after that, with the other male performers trying to beef with me, and everybody talking, oh, I was a rapist and I was an asshole and I was this and that. That shit was all like my man say, working for the plantation, or cooning for the plantation. At the end of the day, it's like, well, he want to make a stand, but who the fuck is he to make a stand? We've been doing this shit for years and we ain't never had a problem. And I get that, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people got kids, a lot of people got budgets, a lot of people live above their means, and they feel that this is the only way they gonna make that type of bread without beating somebody in the head or selling
Mhm.
drugs. So, who am I to try to down talk or downplay the industry that they love, in their way, and that's where a lot of the drama and the bullshit had came from. But like I said, what was written in the newspapers was real. You know what I'm saying? My story 10 years from now won't change, 20 years from now won't change, you know what I'm saying? I just don't want to, open you guys or myself for any legal action. You know what I'm saying, from the
Gotcha.
company. But directors was fired. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Certain things happen behind the scenes that, you know, nobody in the industry gonna really talk about, but those that know. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I done changed a lot of shit out there, even if I don't get the recognition or don't even get the work behind it. The reality is, you'll never hear another black performer, male or female, called out of their name during the scene unless they 100% consent to it. You know what I mean? And that ultimately was the goal. Was don't give me the illusion that we all in this together when reality, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Y'all using my images and likeness for y'all to make a bag, and y'all really don't care how I'm displayed to the world.
Mm.
Would you say that event? I don't want to say blackballed you. Did it affect your career? Let's put it that way.
I mean, of course, it affected me. You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of companies just don't want headaches in general.
Hmm.
So they're like, you know what, you a cool dude, but we just don't want the drama. You know what I mean? A lot of, sad to say sometimes, with all the people claiming that they woke or whatever the case may be, white people stick together, man, a lot better than we do. And it's sad
Yeah.
that that's what it is sometimes, but it is. So you know what I mean? Like I could be looked at as a pariah, for saying what's the truth, or was saying what was obviously, uh, I was what's the word I want to use? Not not ethnicity, but
Knowledge.
that damn ethics. There
Okay.
you go.
Mhm.
The ethics. You know what I'm saying? Like it's certain ethics that we have as performers, what I mean, as men, as women, and with porn, it's that situation where if you're doing porn, they assume that you don't have any morals.
Right.
So it's like to try to make a stand for something, outside of dealing with the gay and lesbian community. It seems like in porn, you really don't have no, no place to stand. You know what I mean? Like if a black woman was to say, you know what, I only want to do black men and I don't want to do white men, her career will probably go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Whereas if a white woman is like, I don't want to do black guys, she'll be looked at on a different level where they will actually praise her. They will actually give her more work. They will actually keep her
Mm.
around longer because that's the business model. It's already a part of the custom where it's like, okay, when you come in the game as a white woman, it's like, all right, you could do girl or solo, then you move up to boy girl, then you move up to gangbang if that's what's in your, your abilities. Then you get to that fork in the road where it's like, okay, do you want to do anal or do you want to do black guys? You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? And a lot of girls do both, but they'll go one or the other first. You know what I'm saying? To where now you have some of these companies like Black, and so on and so forth, that glorifies it and made it a big deal, to where now girls is finding out, hold on, I can make 10,000 or 4,000 for doing an exclusive black guy scene. I'm gonna wait it out. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna
Mm.
wait for Black to call me, and then I'm gonna do my first iteration. And then it's like, cause they know, after they fuck black guys, sad to say, this is not my way of thinking. This is the way of, the industry itself, and
Right.
obviously the world, because I do appreciate DL Hughley and BET and a lot of the newspapers and so on and so forth that kind of stepped up and spoke on it, the racism element and all that. But then you got people like Charlemagne and them that went on and was like, oh, well, if I nut on her face and shit on her, then it's all good. No, it's not good. If you doing
Right.
your radio show, somebody come in there and disrespect you, they disrespect you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when you got a whole industry that's already prone to have no respect for the black man, and one says, you know what, I ain't them, this ain't that, it was new to them. Fuck they head up. They didn't understand it. You know what I'm saying? Because we as black men should have been all gracious, almighty. I'm fucking a white woman. This is the best thing in the world. You know what I mean? But in reality, you know what I mean? They pussy stink just like the rest of the bitches do. You feel me? Like,
Right.
it is what it is. You
Yeah.
know?
Man, did you have an opportunity to hear Mayo where he said the other day?
Nah, I actually didn't.
You didn't. I'm gonna get your opinion if you want to speak on this. Being as though you're I'm gonna play it for you real quick and then give me your opinion on what he
Okay.
said about sex.
So wrong.
It's so wrong. I'm gonna tell you right now. I've
Oh my
never
God.
talked about this.
Ah, shit.
I like to be like a runaway slave.
Okay, no. Oh, shit. Oh, my God.
I like to play like a runaway slave.
Okay.
I like to play like a disobedient slave with a white woman.
So tell me, like, what you say. Yes, master. I'm sorry.
It's two. It's two of them. Like, it's like me getting whooped, right?
You get whooped?
It's like I play like you whipping, but most of them don't want to play like that. This
Yeah, I was gonna say, what white woman goes along with this?
They don't want to play like that. They don't.
Okay.
This is my. It's like, listen, you're gonna act like your master's wife,
and I'm the runaway.
and I just got whooped by master. Eyeballing
okay.
me. But the whole time you've been really, you've been eyeballing me.
Oh, this sounds like some freaky porn. I'm interested.
Right, this is freaky shit. And then I'm gonna come all sweaty, right? Just finished getting whooped, and you're gonna say, no, Billy Joe, no, Billy Joe, no. Master's not gonna like it. He's not gonna like it. That's what you know. This is
So that's pretty much it right there. What do you think about that, man?
You know what I'm gonna say? Shout out to Mayo. You know what I mean? I actually met Mayo a few times. While I was in the music industry, I used to work for Little Kim directly, and he was one of the people that she brought in the game. So I did promote his music back in the day. And irony, years later, I actually met Mayo on a more personal setting because his cousin, rest in peace, D Wise, is actually one of the guys that was in my union, Brothers in Pornography. And I had the pleasure of actually chopping it up and meeting him. And we had similar conversations about our crazy sexual escapades, and I had to kind of like shut him down because he was acting like, he was a bigger porn star than me at the time, you know what I mean? Like, which happens with most, I think hustlers and dudes that's in the underground lifestyle, you know what I'm saying, do what they do per se. And if you getting money and you fucking bitches every day, you feel you a porn star in your own right as well. You know what I mean? And sad to hear him say that because I do know he went through a certain situation where he was falsely accused of raping a white porn chick. You know what I'm saying? And I know her, and I know that chick too, and she's a dirtbag bitch. You know what I'm saying? So the idea, that's his personal preference. Again, that's his personal preference. It's not his job. Right. You feel what I'm saying? So how he may feel about that is, that's on him. Some guys like that shit. Some guys like their girl call them a nigga and all that, and they cool with that. No, hey, to each their own. You know what I'm saying? But if you step into this world, you know what I'm saying, and it's a job, it's not me in the privacy of my home deciding to let her, degrade me in that way because that's some fetish or twisted fetish of mine. You know what I mean? Like I done dealt with girls that's regular, civilian type chicks, and they like, oh, I watch all your gangbang movies because I got rape fantasies. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So you got to look at it for what it is. Like at the end
Yeah.
of the day, everybody can have their own twisted personal fantasies. So if that's what that man like in the comfort of his home with his white woman, hey,
Yeah, sir.
have fun, bro. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
me personally, I would never take a role like that. I would never do a role like that, and I damn sure wouldn't promote a role like that because of the fact that I know that shit has so many different undertones in it. You know what I mean? I seen something a few months back where it was a black dude and he did the whole proposal to his wife with that same type of, persona, slave mentality, but we getting married, so God knows what the fuck kind of role playing they was doing. You know what I'm saying? That you posting that shit up on your social media with you in chains proposing, looking like a slave, you know what I'm saying, to your wife or your future wife. You know what I mean? A lot of motherfuckers is twisted. A lot of black men, like I said, a lot of black people put us back 10 years, or 20 years or 30 years or shit. In that situation, 100 years. You know what I'm saying? It's just that if that's what you do, that's what you do. You know what I mean? But this ain't that. I'll pull my pants down with my dick out for a bag. And so if y'all gonna try to destroy my brand, then nah, I'm not. You know what I mean? I'm not cool with it. But again, like I said, I don't have no problem with Mayo. To each their own. You know what I mean? But me, that ain't me. That ain't my thing.
That's what's up. That's all I got, man. That's all I got.
Yeah, this has been dope, man. We definitely appreciate your time. We ain't gonna hold too much more of it. Moes the Monster Johnson on the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast, brother. Definitely appreciate all your candid and honest answers to all of our questions, man. We definitely appreciate the insight, brother. Let the people know what you got going on now in the future, and let them know where they can find you.
Okay. I got a big movie coming up. I can't really speak on it all the way, but it's definitely I will be returning to LA at some point in later fall of this year. It's definitely going to be something. If you guys is following me on my social media, you guys as well, under hip hop, if y'all guys stay tuned. I definitely probably will want to come back on and probably promote that, but like I said, it's definitely a big production. It's going to turn a lot of heads when it does drop. But I just at this time I can't give you more details. But that's pretty much a big feature role that I'm gonna be doing. Outside of that, you can always check me out on my Twitter, which is MOE_THE_monster. You can check me out on my X videos page, which is official Moe the Monster. You can check me out on my OnlyFans, which is official Moe Johnson, and on my Instagram. I'll be on there, but I done got taken down about 6 times. I done had over 100,000 followers within the 6 times they done took it down. So at this point, it's just there to be there. But if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's DA Real Moe Monster. You know what I mean? And then always my website is motormonster.com.
Definitely appreciate you, man. Moe The Monster Johnson on the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast, man. Welcome back anytime, man. Definitely come over here if you want to promote your new film, and anytime you're welcome on the podcast, bro. Thank you.
Indeed.
I appreciate y'all, man. Stay up, yo.
All right, bro.
Thank you.
Well.
All right.